immense joy and relief over the return of 3 Americans to U.S. soil after being wrongfully detained in Russia. Evan Gershkovich, Alsu, Kurmasheva, and Paul Whelan landed in Maryland late last night, greeted by the president and vice president, who helped negotiate their release, and, of course, by their families, who never stopped fighting for them. It's part of the largest prisoner swap with Russia since the end of the Cold War. Nancy Cordes is at the White House. Nancy, what a morning.
And what a thrilling reunion at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland overnight, Nate, as these 3 Americans finally returned to American soil and to their families. At one point, you even saw Evan Gershkovich lift his mother up in a big bear hug. The negotiations that were involved in bringing these 3 home were described as a diplomatic feat yesterday, involving half a dozen countries and months of hard work. One by one, Marine veteran Paul Whelan and journalists Evan Gershkovich and Alsu Kurmasheva stepped back onto U.S. soil, first greeted by President Biden and Vice President Harris, and then embraced by their loved ones. The president said he was feeling relief for the families.
There's nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Remember who the hell we are. We're the United States of America.
For Whelan, it's the end of a nearly 6-year ordeal, but the start of some new challenges. He spoke upon arrival in Texas before heading to a medical facility.
It was a good homecoming. So looking forward to seeing my family down here and just recuperating from 5 years, 7 months, and 5 days of just absolute nonsense by the Russian government.
Kurmasheva's husband told CBS News that reintegration could be tough for his wife, too, after 9 months behind bars.
We'll see how that works out. This imprisonment has taken an emotional and physical toll on Alsu, and we're there to help her.
Kurmasheva's daughters got to speak to her by phone from the Oval Office yesterday, right after the swap.
I'm so happy. We didn't expect this to happen all of a sudden. And we're just really grateful that we're going to have our mom back with us soon.
Getting them home was a diplomatic feat that involved 24 individuals being held in 7 countries. 8 Russians were released from jails, including 3 who were being held in the U.S., accused of fraud and cyber crimes. One convicted assassin spent the last several years serving a life sentence in Germany. Russian President Vladimir Putin warmly embraced him when he got off the plane. In exchange, Russia released 12 Germans, the 3 Americans, and 1 U.S. permanent resident, Vladimir Kara-Murza, a Pulitzer Prize winner and outspoken critic of the Russian regime who had been held by Russia since 2022. When the swap was confirmed yesterday, cheers erupted in the Wall Street Journal newsroom. Evan Gershkovich was simply covering the news when he was arrested 16 months ago and falsely accused, like the other Americans, of espionage.
There's nothing that matters more to me than protecting Americans at home and abroad. And so we'll continue to work for the release of all wrongfully detained Americans around the world.
All 3 Americans have now headed to San Antonio, Texas for medical treatment at a military facility there. Last night, WNBA star Brittany Griner, who was released herself in a prisoner swap in late 2022 after 10 months in captivity in Russia, she put out a statement saying she is overwhelmed with joy and relief for the Americans released and that every American returned is a win. Major.
Joy and relief. Nancy Cordes at the White House. Thank you.